I like to solve problems.
Stunning.
I do regard myself as a problem solver. And I always say that someone should be better off
Mm,
after meeting you and after
yes.
dealing with you
Mm,
than they were before.
mm,
And that is really what makes a career fulfilling, I
mm.
think. If you can go to work every day and you know that I am making a difference.
Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Spreadsheet. My name is Rodilio Lewis, and this is a podcast brought to you by ICAN to give you an idea of the people behind the accounting profession. Now, each episode features members who share their personal and their professional journeys with us, highlighting the human side of the accounting world. This season, of course, we'll be focusing specifically on the audit profession, aiming to showcase exactly what its purpose is and the depth and the opportunities that exist for young people out there. The goal is to inspire current and future professionals to see auditing not just as a technical field, but also as a meaningful and rewarding career. And of course, we are back with our next guest on That is Beyond the Spreadsheet, a podcast brought to you by ICAN. Now, we're talking today to the one and only Waylon, who's going to be telling us a little bit about his journey in the audit profession. Now, Waylon, thank you so much for joining us today and for just taking some time out of your busy schedule and just saying, I'll put the spreadsheets down and I'll come chat a little bit about it with someone else. And thank you for just being here with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.
And I just want to jump in straight on into our first question, which is the most loaded question, I think, which is how did you get into auditing and how that journey started for you?
That is a very good question. So, I never even thought about auditing. I never even considered it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I think my fellow professionals will know that as a young person, as a scholar, you probably have no idea even really what auditors are doing. So I like to say that I ended up in the profession by chance. So the journey really started in 2013 when I was a grade 11 scholar at
Wow.
Vindic Gymnasium. And I had to decide what I'm going to do with my life. And
It's a tough
I've
decision.
always, yes, very much so. I've always had a very wide range of interests.
Hmm.
Um, and I couldn't decide, do I want to do medicine? Do I want to do engineering?
Wow.
What I wanted to do. So I then decided that I want to do something in business.
Hmm.
And at that stage, the CA designation was really sold to me as the most prestigious, I would say, business and finance qualification.
Hmm.
And just looking at the range of things that you can do as a chartered accountant, that's really what drew me to the CA
Hmm.
profession. So not specifically auditing, really. But of course, in Namibia, if you want to become a CA, you
Hmm.
need to do at least 3 years of auditing articles. And at that stage, I was offered a bursary by PwC. So I
Beautiful.
was a bursary student. And I went off to study accounting. And after I graduated, I, of course, had to do my articles. And even during my studies, to be very honest, I never liked auditing as a subject. It was my least favorite subject of them all. And my perception before I got into the profession was that I'm going to get the articles, out of the way. I'm going
Hmm.
to get this over and done with, and I'm going to move on as a CA in another field that's not auditing.
Hmm.
But it turned out that I started auditing and I'm still with PwC. So the
Beautiful.
rest is history, I would say.
I love that. And what an interesting history, because realizing that you're saying that it happened by chance, you're like, I'm going to figure this out as I go, is interesting because you actually received like a national recognition from ICAN on their honors roll and the ITC ranking. So it's interesting for me how something that you were like, let me just try it out. Let me just see if I dabble around a little bit, what could happen. But seeing all of that and knowing all of that, what did you, in all of this, like just the experience of it all, how did that come off for you and how did that feel for you?
It's been a journey.
Mm,
It's really been a journey, and something that I took away from the journey was you need to be agile.
Mm.
And I always say that you need to have some form of direction in which your life is going, without necessarily having the whole plan plotted out,
Yes.
milestone by milestone. Because the problem with that is you can become so fixated on what your initial plans for yourself were that you sort of forgot about, there's other opportunities
Yes.
that might arise while you're on this journey. And so I think what that all has taught me is that do not think too far in advance. So be flexible. So when new opportunities arise, evaluate those opportunities and make a decision based on what you think is the best for yourself. And be consistent. So I think looking at, the accolades specifically, looking back at it, I think it's really perseverance that got me to that point where I got the recognition that I got, and really putting your head down every day and just doing your best. It's the small things that add up.
That really, really do count. I can't believe that. I mean, you audit everything. So all those small little ones, they eventually add up to some big things.
Exactly. The detail is important. Not underestimate it.
Now, within PwC, you've become an associate director. And of course, along with that comes a specific set of skills that you need to have, specific ideas that need to be formulated in your mind, and all of those different types of elements to really just make you not, I don't want to say perfect for the role, but the most eligible for the role. And you've done a great job of going from a grade 11 student who just got a cute little bursary to where you're sitting today. What would you say in that process were the key lessons that guided you to where you are today?
I would say that, as I also said previously, it's really, you should not underestimate hard work, consistent hard work, and perseverance. So not thinking, and I think especially in today's day and age, it's difficult. We're in the TikTok age where
Yes.
instant gratification is a thing, and people expect to water the plant today and to
Catch the
get the
fruit.
fruits tomorrow.
Yes.
And that's not how it works. So I think it's really shifting your focus from what is in it for me, how can I get something out of this, how can I achieve my personal goals and objectives, to shifting that to a paradigm of service, I would really say. So
Beautiful.
it's always that you need to think, how can I make someone else's life better? Whether that is your boss, so in our case, a partner, being a client, being colleagues, being team members who report to you. So it's really thinking about, what can I do to make your life easier, and what can I do to service you, to serve you as a fellow professional. And if you do that, everything else will happen by itself.
I love that. It all falls into place. It's like a beautiful domino effect.
Exactly. But
Now-
for me, I think the key thing is, do not forget about yourself. So you will be rewarded eventually if you keep on doing what you need to do, but forget about yourself and about what's in it for me.
Now, if we're talking about rewards and we make it a little bit personal to you, what would you say is the most rewarding thing about being in the audit profession?
If I really had to summarize it in one sentence, it would be that knowing that I'm making a difference. So, and not just making a difference through signing audit opinions or assisting my partners in getting to the point where we can sign audit reports, but making a difference to society at large, whether that is through learning and development of the people that report to me. So we'll probably still chat about that in a minute, but I'm very passionate about learning and development, developing others, while we are, of course, ticking off the statutory boxes of, we need to audit, companies need signed financial statements and all of that. But it's about everything else. So that is the key objective. But what is happening while we are pursuing that objective? We are developing people to become professionals in the Namibian economy at large. And we also build trust. We build trust in what it is that our clients are doing. And we are really able to add value to the economy in that way.
I love that. I think it's always so interesting when I have like these types of conversations because I get to see like a different side of what's actually happening in the profession, like the behind the scenes. And I really want to know when it comes to the audit profession, obviously there are many, many misconceptions around what exactly is going on. You've given us like a brief understanding of like this is the prepping and the planning and everything. But for your average person just sitting down at home wondering, so what do these auditors actually do? What would you say is a misconception that you'd like to clear up for people out there?
Very good question. So probably the key thing is that we catch the fraudsters. I think that's a very big misconception. So people think that we are out there to detect
Yeah.
and spot the fraud and investigate and
And catch them all.
quantify and catch them. And that is really not the case. So my fellow colleagues in the profession would attest to the fact that we are out there to make sure that what goes out in the market in terms of reports, in terms of financial results, that really is a true reflection of what is happening in the business. So that is our main aim. Our main aim is to ensure faithful financial reporting if you are in external audit. And if we do come across an instance of where there might be fraudulent activity or where everything might not be above board, yes, we do have professional obligations that, where we need to act on it. But that is not the main aim. So that is one misconception that I would like to get out of the way. And I think maybe more to speak to fellow professionals that maybe have some auditing background and that's now out in the market, that's not part of the profession anymore. I think there might be a misconception that audit is a grudge purchase in the sense that the Companies Act says that you need to be audited. So many of our clients get us on board and they're like, let's just get this audit out of the way, sign the audit opinion so that I can also comply with the requirements. So I think a lot of the people, even in the CA profession, in the finance function, see us as they just need to do it.
Like a watchdog.
Yes, exactly. Without realizing the value that we can add if we are afforded the opportunity by clients, and if we all get on board to work towards the same objective, there's really a lot of value that we can add beyond just signing the statutory audit opinion.
I love that. That's interesting. I'm like, wow, it's not just as black and white as we thought.
Exactly.
Now, you have a background, of course, in teaching and mentorship. And of course, we have young professionals out there that are also sitting down and young people that want to become professionals in the audit profession. And they're probably sitting down right now and they're like, okay, so Redilia, you're getting us to understand that it's not just watchdog business. It's not just policing and trying to find out who's not making what, who's not complying where. What is a message that you would like to share with young professionals considering the career as an auditor?
I would say that if your mind is going in that direction where you are already thinking about it and you're unsure, I would say just do it. I would say just do it, and you don't have to do it forever. That is the beauty of it. You don't have to do it forever, but while you are in that environment, the level of exposure that you get, that is not only, and the skills that you are taught that is not only applied in audit specifically, but the skill set that you acquire while you are in the profession and that you can apply elsewhere is just magnificent. And as auditors, I think we are really fortunate in the sense that we get, the experience that we get in multiple industries, in different functions. A lot of the times, it's something that we take for granted, and we shouldn't. And I think once you are done with your 3 or 4 or 5 years in auditing, the skills that you would have acquired, you are really making yourself attractive to the market, and you are making yourself a very employable individual. So you don't have to do it forever. Check it out, and you might like it, and you might want to stay in it forever. You might want to make a lifelong career out of it, like a lot of the individuals and professionals do. But even if you don't do it, you would not have wasted your time.
I love that. Now, speaking of all of that and understanding that we all know that time is a very, very precious asset that runs out very quickly. We
Yes.
can't really control that one. But of course, we need validation and motivation to really keep to what it is that we're doing and to stay on this path all the way from grade 11 to now, which was, like we said, by chance, but I think it was the best chance ever because it really opened some exciting doors.
Agree.
What would you say, apart from all of these exciting things and all of these learning experiences, is the thing that keeps you motivated in the profession?
I think the pursuit of excellence, I would say, in more than one aspect. So I want to keep on being a contributor to sending individuals out in the market and seeing them grow from when they come out of university, sometimes straight from school,
Yes.
joining the firm and seeing how they grow from that, I almost want to say, naive, unexperienced individual to being a well-rounded professional by the time that they are done with their time in auditing, and seeing the confidence that also brings. Because I mean, with skills, with experience and education, that's all contributors to building your confidence and making sure that someone wants to employ you and knowing that you can make a difference. So for me, that is really what's keeping me in the profession, and that's keeping me pushing and going forward. And then I like to solve problems.
Stunning.
I do regard myself as a problem solver. And I always say that someone should be better off after meeting you and after dealing with you than they were before. And that is really what makes a career fulfilling, I think. If you can go to work every day and you know that I am making a difference.
I love that. I think it's really what everyone actually wants at the end of the day, to just know that I am contributing to actual change. It really does, like, it makes all the sparks go off on the inside. So I love that. And it does lead me into my next question, because I want to understand that, like, with all of the work that you need to do, all of the requirements, all of the like, just like the expectation of it all, how do you keep balanced? How do you keep it all balanced to stay level-headed, stay a professional, stay at the top of your game? How do you make sure that it all stays in a balance sheet? If I could
It
say
all
it like
stays in balance.
that.
So you need to put yourself first. So I would say that is the number one thing that I focus on, because I love the saying of you cannot pour from an empty cup. Exactly. So if you don't keep on filling yourself up, you won't have anything to give to other people at the end of the day. So you need to put yourself first. You need to focus on your own physical and mental well-being, because I think it's also something that I picked up from experience, is that you cannot do your best if you are not at the best place for yourself, whether that is physically or mentally or emotionally. You first need to work on that before you go to work every day, to make sure that you are in a place where you can actually make a difference and contribute to other people's lives as well. And then being very strict about your boundaries. So I just said that I really like to go to work. I do feel like I'm making a difference every day. But at the end of the day, you need to remember that it's still only a job.
Yes.
It is a job. And the job will not mean anything if you are not fulfilled as a person and if you are not well as a person. So be very strict about the boundaries between your personal and professional life, and make sure that And you need to manage your stress levels.
Yes.
That is very important. And something that really helps me with that is I know that from 8 to 5 and sometimes beyond,
Mm.
I am really doing my utmost best. I do what I can.
Mm.
I solve the problems that I can solve. The ones that I cannot solve, I make a plan to get into someone who can, solve the problems. But I deliver my best every
Yes.
day. So if things still go wrong, if things still derail,
Mm.
there's nothing that I can do about it.
Mm.
And I take peace in knowing that I
Beautiful.
did what I can and that whatever is not in my hands, I cannot control.
Mm.
And that's how I manage my stress levels. And that is important to ensuring that you do stay physically and mentally
Mm.
well and that you are able to make the difference that you need to make.
I love that. And obviously, I like to do this where I just kind of like jump off script and like ask a completely different question. So this one wasn't in this in the prep,
Perfect.
but I want to find out from you. When you look at everything that what you've done and all of the challenges and all of the successes, the highs, the lows, what would you say was something that maybe almost brought you to a point where you were like, maybe I shouldn't be in this profession anymore, but then at the very last moment, something clicked and made you say, no, I'm staying. I'm going to keep going.
Yes, that happens. I
Mm.
think I speak for everyone in the profession. At some point, you are going to doubt and you're going to think that, am I really making a difference?
Mm.
Because I think at times, especially at lower levels, the job can feel like it's becoming a bit mundane. Like I'm
Mm.
doing the same thing week in and week out, which is not really the case always, but you do feel like that sometimes.
Mm.
And then, so for me, we have these at our firm. We have these coaching sessions. So you have a coach, and you have coachees as well. So you are a coach to someone,
Nice.
and then I would meet with one of my team members, of whom I'm the team leader, and then we would just have a discussion, and they would thank me for the significant role that I'm playing and for the role model that I am to them. And at that point,
Mm.
time and again, it just clicks to me. And I'm
Beautiful.
just like, that is why I am here.
Oh,
Because
wow.
I am making a difference in people's lives. The
Mm.
things that I'm doing, it doesn't go unnoticed.
Mm.
It is important work. And that is really what's keeping me motivated and that makes me want to stay in the profession.
I love that. Now, to lead into my final question, I know we're actually there. I
Wow,
always find it so crazy how quickly a conversation like
it
this can
really
go.
does.
But for all of our people that are sitting down and wondering, okay, I'm a young student. I maybe am grade 11, have no idea what I want to do next. If you could summarize and put the entire audit profession into one catchy sentence that really just makes people go, you know what? I want to do what they are doing. I want to put up some boundaries and make people understand that this is how it's done. What is that sentence and how would you describe it all?
Auditing is a way to keep each other accountable,
Hmm.
to make sure that we stay and act and operate within the rules while also significantly developing yourself into a beautiful, well rounded individual
Hmm.
and professional.
I love that. And then my final extra question. Yes, yes, yes. We're always going to slip an extra one there. If you could describe your journey in the audit profession and everything that you've done in 3 emojis, what are those 3 emojis and why? Waylon, your mind is already working.
I would say the thinking emoji.
Yes, a little.
Yeah, because sometimes it is difficult work. Sometimes there's contentious issues that you need to deal with where there's no clear cut,
Mm,
black and white, right or wrong answer. It's gray,
mm.
and that really makes you think. I would say a smiley face because of
Nice.
how fulfilling the job is,
Beautiful.
and it just makes me smile when I think about my job. And probably also a cry emoji because it's not always beautiful. It's not
Mm,
always just all sunshine and flowery and everything. There's a lot of emotions
Mm,
in the job as well that you need to manage.
mm,
And it's tough. It really is a tough profession. It's a cutthroat profession.
mm,
And it's filled with emotions
mm.
that you also need to manage.
I love that. Thank you for managing time and such a great conversation with us today. I really, really appreciate it, Waylon. And I think you've also just given me like a new perspective on what actually exists out there because I did not think it could be interesting, to just be honest. So I'm very excited to just see all of this and just hear all of this. So thank you so much for what you do. And thank you for making a difference and also just not the business sector, but also in young professionals' lives, because it's so important to have a mentor. And it's one thing that I always say that every young person deserves to have a mentor or a teacher or an adult that really can just steer them into a direction that really gives them more perspective and clarity. So thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for balancing the sheets and making sure that we're all going somewhere and we all have enough to go on vacation.
Yes.
So thank you so much for joining us on Beyond the Spreadsheet with ICAN. I really, really appreciate it. It's been an amazing chat.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed it. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. That's, of course, a wrap on our episode. Be sure to catch more on our pages. You can catch everything on ICAN. That's on social media, the website. Be sure to go through it. But that's the end for Beyond the Spreadsheet for now.